we do the like the Monday Night Football slide? The Al Michaels.
Welcome to another episode of Zero Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today, heute, I'm so excited to have on a 36-year-old und an 38-year-old, a 36 and 38-year-old from Cincinnati, Ohio, and Ketchum, Idaho, USA. Their hockey journey has taken them to the USA, Canada, Croatia, and Deutschland. They both returned to the shed for their hat tricks and have combined for 2,311 goals, plays, or listens. Between these two dandies, we have Dry and Dreitzig Yar Profi Ice Hockey, 33 years of pro hockey, and counting, folks, a DL championship, and the best schlagers in the league. That sticks, folks. As well as the full or Ganze Mannschaft. The full team have the sharpest Schlittschuhs in the league. Skates, folks. They have become staples and legends with the Straubing Tigers, who are now perennial contenders in the DL. Welcome back to the shed, Cody, Lampl, and Jeff Maxwell.
What's up? Hey.
I was wondering if you guys were frozen.
He's like, is this thing working?
Oh yeah, we're here.
I know. Yeah. What's up? Nice to be back. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming back, guys. Thanks for making the time for me. Makes my day better.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was all me too.
Yeah, I love getting new pictures sent, new poster pics, and I love just getting excited to talk to Shed guys. So it's the off season. You're both in the locker room, the cabina.
It's
quiet place right now.
But it's also Straubing's such a small place that it's so close to everyone's house and everything that you can go and, like I said, like I'm always at the rink trying to get when Moose is working, obviously, because Maxie puts in a lot more time. I always try to use the industrial washers because I got 4 kids, so like
that makes sense.
Always stopping by, and it's such like a, even when you're like going to town, you just stop in, hey, what's up, so.
And you get one load of laundry for the full family. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I wash all the sheets and the blankets and stuff here, so it doesn't clog me up.
So you're a Moose too, eh? You're a second shed guy is Moose. You're Moose and Maxie.
Yeah, the only place they call me Moose is here in Straubing.
Okay. We got Michael Coral on the Chocolatey Manchester Storm, he's a Moose too.
Okay.
It fucks me up because we were together a long time ago, which we'll talk about, but he was always Maxie, and then it took me this second year here and now I never call him Maxie, which is weird. I've like completely bought in,
to Moose.
To Moose, yeah.
What's Moose in German?
Moose, I don't know.
They don't have mooses over there, or what?
I don't know. It's a pretty funny nickname because like he is a moose. Like this guy's a unit.
Yeah. I've seen a picture of a bunch of shed guys, which is how we know each other. Is the picture with Deese came to visit you. You do look big if you're that big beside Deese.
Yeah, he's pretty tall fella here. Maybe a little thick.
He's a big boy.
What are you weighing in at these days?
275-ish.
Huh.
Which is, I would like to be less, but that's about where I am right now.
Well, German food got away from me too.
Yeah, man, those schnitzels, man. Woo!
What do you do with your schnitzel?
Oh, the schnitzel mit pumice. I like that, like the berry sauce.
Cranberry sauce?
Yeah. Or lately I've been getting into the cordon bleus.
Oh, have you? I dabbled in those, but I like the brown sauce right on the spaetzle, right to the schnitzel. Brown sauce it up.
Yeah.
I was in August Steiner in Landshut yesterday. Maybe you went there when you were there.
I didn't go there, but that's the beer. That's the best beer going.
So it was like their beer hall for food there. We were there to eat yesterday. And so I had like an awesome like cordon bleu that had like with spicy sauce in the middle of it, kind of like with the cheese. It was good,
I do know.
I'm not a ham guy. I like just the OG Wiener Schnitzel, but bratkartoffel like is the way to go with, and then just lemon on the schnitzel.
And bratkartoffel, folks, is like sliced potatoes fried
up,
right?
It's like home fries.
Home fries. And you know what's an underrated part of German food? You know what is the kartoffel salat, the potato salad.
100%. Or the Pfannkuchen soup or whatever, the pancake soup.
Oh, the pancake soup. Good gosh. Talk dirty to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
man.
weird. If people don't know, like the way they do salads over here is like each ingredients like separate,
Yeah.
like on
Yeah.
on like one bed of, one just leaf of lettuce basically,
Yeah.
And then it's up to you how you want to mix and match your salad.
Yeah,
right?
so it's but it's weird the way that's how it is here. It's like it comes the same way every time.
Oh gosh, I bring back memory just talking about food because man, I really enjoyed my time over there.
That's one of my favorite things about over here is like a salad is standard with dinner. It's not an add-on.
You just order a meal and it comes with a little salad. Makes you feel better about yourself, right?
Man. Yeah, I mean, it just makes you feel like a more complete meal too.
Yeah, you're right. Whew, got hungry there. Okay, how we know each other, eh? Moose, you did send a picture to me that made me laugh, and it was a picture of a DVD that said 2006 Daytona Beach Bombers of Ohio's rookie party.
Oh yeah.
And I said, wow, I'm really curious what's on that DVD. And then you sent me some photos, and man, did I look pretty.
Oh yeah, they dressed him up like girls.
How did you get that?
My buddy was his equipment guy.
Gotcha.
My first boss in Cincinnati was his equipment guy when he played in Dayton.
So just the network.
Yeah. So
it's the shed guy spider web.
I swear it's like equipment guys, just one text thread.
Yeah.
It's just like
if you really want to be involved in hockey, you gotta get to know the equipment guys.
Like if you're not on that thread, like you're a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's like every equipment guy in the world's on this thread probably.
But this guy's like one of my good buddies from the business, but he's not in the business anymore.
Yeah.
He came and helped me for World Championships one year, Madison, Lithuania.
And now his book's coming out with everything that was in
so
there.
he was just moving some stuff around in his house and found some old boxes.
I just can't believe that he's the one with that DVD. Why would he have it? Was he there?
Because he still carries a digital camera. Tim Donnelly, since people don't know what we're talking about. Timmy D, he still carries like a regular digital nice camera with him to this day. So he probably was the one taking those pictures, if I had to guess.
Well, I the ones you sent me, which I was curious if there are any with Hendo on there, because Hendo ended up with me in Cardiff, and I know he was dressed as a woman there, and I never saw a picture of him. So
I was trying to see if there were any pictures of one Dan Knapp on there.
No, he was gone after 4 games.
All right, so he wasn't there. Okay, like that was later in the season.
The
player get to catch a predator when he was in Dayton.
Like Bowling Green,
real story.
Bowling Green.
He
went to Ohio State.
Oh, Ohio State.
Yeah, that's Ohio State.
Wait, he actually got Chris Hansen.
Yeah,
he got caught in a chat room.
Like not like on TV, but yeah, showed up to a gas station to meet.
So,
kids,
so I guess I've never really talked about this on here.
We don't condone that.
No, we don't condone it, but this is what this podcast
but
is for.
I guess this is a real story, and I guess the shed is about real stories, whatever. I got called up. I don't know what was going on in Syracuse. They must have lost their mind, but they called me up for a weekend, and I felt like a Dayton Bomber, and that was my team. And I got called up, and all of a sudden, like, I'm there my first night, and I start getting texts fired at me like, you won't believe what is going on here. Like, this is my first day away from the team. And I'm like, what is going down? And Paul Kelly, beauty, who sitting in his apartment in his underwear, sitting at his computer, his roommate, this is early on, 4 games into the season. Well, the police broke down their door and that took the computer out of the roommate's room, and was like, he's just sitting there in his underwear, like after practice, and then all of a sudden his door's getting broken down by the police. And it came out that the guy was on these chat sites and like made plans to meet young girls, and then when he went there to meet them, it was
was that it for hockey? Like,
he went to jail then. Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. He got arrested, jail time.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. And Dayton, we're the Dayton Bombers. We don't get many fans as is. And then all of a sudden, this is in the newspaper. It's like the Dayton Bomber player charged with this. And it's like, oh, here we go.
I remember hearing about this because, I mean, I have a playlist of, watching To Catch a Predator, and those things. So that's like, as I obviously don't agree with like entrapment all that much, like the not committing a crime like this I have an argument with my wife because I'm like, I agree in this. If you're making plans and you like go outside your thing, but I'm also like, how do you do a crime before a crime? You know, you like haven't committed a crime. So,
but he was planning on it.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like you're civil, you know, like I said, that's the discussion. But anyway, just going back to To Catch a Predator, we all know how the show worked. This happened, and you knew somebody on the team that actually got to catch a predator.
He was on our team, and that happened to him while he was on our team. And then he was gone, and I believe so I haven't talked about that on here. Not really something I like talking about because that was crazy that he was my teammate and was sitting beside me in the locker room. And then I find out that after practice, he's doing that shit. That's not cool. But anyways,
it just goes to show how many people you meet in hockey, like how weird, like
was he in the pictures? Because I'm starting to think maybe he was there.
I'm not for sure. I really don't mind. I just kind of wanted to bring up that story.
You just wanted to bring up that story just to like
outrageous to me.
Story.
It's outrageous.
I mean, it's probably one of the only guys that's happened to.
You know what's interesting to me though? It's like you guys are just messing with me. You come on, you get me all hungry, and then you make me sick. Then you make me sick to my stomach. It's like you guys are just toying with me.
I know
right?
that went dark, but it's also crazy that you've been in the game a long time that probably literally everything has happened to you.
There's been some interesting stuff. It's insane, let's just say that there's stories that have never been told in here that I will never tell because that's for other people's business that I'm not going to bring up in here. But that one went pretty public, so there's no stopping that.
That if somebody says something to you and brings up a thing, you probably never even recalled it, and then all of a sudden you forgot it, and you're like, "Holy shit." Yeah, that was wild, you know, and you're like, I don't even remember. I would have never remembered that on my own, you know, because there's so many things.
Okay, I got it. So before we get in, I think we might be here a while. Sorry if you got to go somewhere, Labs, but listen to this though. I got to tell the story from last night because this was nuts, man. This was I'm at the Owen Sound Arena. My kids got a skate with shed guy Chris Menard. Owen Sound's a tough town, folks, just so you know. We're in this nice little arena. I'm watching all these little mini shed guys practice. And then all of a sudden a kid comes in who's a teenager. I'd say about 13 years old. And then all of a sudden a group of like 6 boys, 2 girls about the same age, like a mob of kids, teenagers came in to come at this fella. And he had came into the arena to get away from them. And
he's about to get jumped.
I'm the only parent at the glass. I'm at the glass of practice watching these kids go, and this kid comes in, and then the kids come in after him. There was a girl videoing it, like one of the kids, while these boys were gonna mob this kid, and then I had to get it, like I had to like try and protect this kid. So then I'm in it, and the kid looked at me and he's like all messed up, and he's like gotta be like 13, 14 years old, and you could tell they weren't quite thinking clearly. And he looks at me and goes, "What are you gonna do, old man? Mind your business." And he says, "What are you gonna do? Hit a kid?" And he gets in my face while this girl is videoing this, and I'm like, guys, I'm just trying to watch practice. Can you go outside? Like, get out of here.
The kid that was about to get gang beat said that to you?
No, he was staying with me trying to get protected.
Okay.
He came into the arena to get protected.
13 didn't give a shit, dude. He's like, yo, we're gonna do this, and you're not gonna do shit.
Yeah, and I was like, and then the one kid came at him, and they started fighting. They started swinging at each other while these kids are getting ready to do a flow drill, and the kids are all turned around looking at this happen, and I'm standing beside this fight. Then they get into a headlock. They're in like a stalemate. I felt like the linesman, and all these parents are up in the crowd, and they don't really know what's going on, and I'm dealing with this on my own, and they're like in the headlock. I'm like, all right, guys, break it up. And then one of the coaches comes off the ice, and then he's like, "Get out of here, kids, get out of the arena, whatever. We're called the cops." So anyways, I start watching practice again. I'm standing with this kid, and he's just like freaked right out. He's scared shitless. And he's watching down the sliding doors, and these kids are walking back and forth in the hallway, yelling shit at us. And I stand with this kid, and I'm like literally turned halfway around, like ready for these kids to come. And I'm like, what am I going to do here? And anyways, they come back
You're
out.
gonna go full stepbrothers on those kids and beat the shit out of them, dude.
But
you
they
know?
start yelling. But there's one of the
Yeah.
girls is videoing this. So, anyways, these kids, I'm standing with this kid. Then they go up into the crowd and start screaming at the kid from the crowd where the other parents are. So then they see they have somewhat of an idea what's happening. But then they come back around after the coaches yell. This girl, one of the girls, comes up to the kid and starts saying all this stuff and gumming him. And then she grabs him and says, "You are coming outside to get beat up." And she grabs him and starts pulling him out of the arena. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And as soon as the kid like pushed away the girl, as soon as he pushed away, the biggest kid came flying in and started swinging and hit the kid 3 or 4 times. His head was banging off the glass. And I'm standing right there. And I had to start getting in the way. And then all the parents came down. And then we ended up calling the cops and the kids scattered. But like, this kid was like crying, saying, he was saying, "I got to go to school tomorrow." And he's like, it was nuts, man.
This is what the 13-year-old, like, it's one thing, like, I remember how it used to be, like, we used to get down, but like, never, ever, like, we had honor if you're going to take care of it. It was like 1v1. And if the kid literally wanted nothing to do with it, then okay, it's like he surrendered, dude. You know, it's like you were alpha over him a little bit, but it's like
they were bound and determined to get this kid outside.
Man, that's crazy.
Like, I would say if parents were around, if there was an adult around, we probably gave up on it.
Man,
I
couldn't believe the balls on these kids when I'm standing there with the kid trying to protect
right
him.
Now, and that's like 7th grade. I mean, that scares the shit out of me.
You know, and like to think of that kid having to go to school today and then whatever, but like there were no parents around. I don't know what like these kids were not thinking clearly. They were definitely into some things.
You said a rec center?
Yeah, in Owen Sound, man. Owen Sound's a tough town. It's a tough I live in a nice place here. This town's a little tougher, and they're like when I showed up with my kid and he goes into the arena, I could see the kids out like in the old field, like just hanging out, right? They're the kids that are just hanging out.
So it's like a hangout. It's a rec center hangout.
And then this kid came into the rec center to get protection, because whatever was going on outdoors. And then I ended up being like his protector, and it was bizarre, man. It was not what I signed up for practice.
No, man. Kids are outrageous.
We better, anyways. That I had to tell, not to get sidetracked. I had to tell that story.
One last thing. How many kids were there?
8, probably 8 to 9.
If it's 7 or 8 on one, I'm throwing every fucking 13-year-old to the ground that I have to. Like, he's asking what I'm doing in that situation.
Well, and that's what was crazy was this girl was videoing it.
I'm knocking a 13-year-old to the ground until I can literally get in between them and like carry the kid that's getting beaten like away. You know,
well, and that's what I was worried about.
Was at 13, I think that's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, I don't give a shit, dude.
No, you know, but what I thought was interesting was that the girl was videoing it while they were trying to beat the wheels off kid, and they were starting all of it. And it was like, well, when they're done, they can manipulate that video and make it as short as they want, and they can make it look however they want to make it look. And I'm like, this ain't these kids' first time.
No,
they had balls on them. It was wild.
Yeah, I can't believe that, man.
Okay, we better move on, eh?
On to some fun stuff.
Okay, Lamps, last time you were on, I saw Mac, Shed Guy, reached out, and like, I think it's neat how the Shed can bring people together, but he's battling for a championship right now, eh?
Yeah, is he in the final right now? Is that what it is in the final?
Last I looked, it was 2-1 for the other team, the bad guys.
Max is it's a cool thing, because like literally we're from fucking rival ski towns in the West, you know, like the only ones that came out of there to go play
are
like professional, you know, at the time, are us too. And it's Jackson Hole, Sun Valley, you know,
and you're both Shed guys, ain't that neat?
It's fun, it's great, yeah.
Good
luck to you, Mac.
Yes, you bet. Yeah,
hope you win.
Winning is fun, right? And then Moose or Maxi, you were in the World Championships for Team Croatia back in the day when they were a KHL squad and Ebel squad. And now Deese is the equipment guy for Team China, eh?
Yeah. The China is a group above Croatia right now. Even.
Isn't it interesting what happened to Croatia's national team when they weren't in the KHL anymore?
Oh, well, yeah. That was a crazy tournament.
And
Actually,
then that's happened to China. Now they're in the KHL, and now look at their team.
when the year we lost to get relegated, we actually beat Ukraine. It was like we played. It was in Lithuania. We lost a 1-goal game to Lithuania on their opening night, and they had who was your favorite demon growing up?
Casper.
Kasperitis was playing
Darius.
for him. Yeah, like Kasperitis had come back, and another famous Lithuanian guy had come back. And so we lost a 1-goal game to them. There's a 1-goal game to Japan, who are like the pretty good teams in that division. Then we beat Ukraine, and then somehow we lose to Estonia and lose to Romania, and we're relegated in the same week. It was just one of those weeks, you know, when
An
you're
emotional week.
When you're playing.
Speaking of small world in the shed, though, is Darius Kasperitis has come up before, and it was with a guy that Maxie came to the shed with. Hey, mines are out in Argentina, the bottom part of the world. Darius Kasperitis went out there to skate with all those kids he trains and stuff.
Yeah.
This was my guy growing up. Like
the hip checks and stuff, right?
I mean,
he was
just,
an animal.
Yeah, just you know what he was. Yeah, just made a first pass and could skate
and then mucked it up.
And that's what he did. And just mucked it up. Yeah, like went like 2 years out of goal. Didn't matter. He was like still on. He's like the first like guy that wasn't super skilled probably to be like Olympic teams when all those players are playing. They were like, yeah, this guy's on this team. You know, so he's just
he was like. He was a gamer, as you can say.
I'm a Penn fan, you know, so he's my guy.
But in World Championships 1B, he could still play.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure he could.
Yeah. So
so did you like it with Team Croatia? Like, was it worth it?
Yeah, I had a blast. I mean, my first year was the closest we came to get a medal in Zagreb, and we needed to win in regulation, and we were winning 1-0 and gave up time goal with like 30 seconds left.
Oh,
and ended up winning in a shootout to finish 4th. We finished 4th or 5th my second time, and then relegated my 3rd time. It was a lot of fun. I miss doing it. They're in Milan right now. They're actually leading their group 2A right now.
It just gives you way more tails in your hockey career, right? To get to do that after the season as equipment guy. Like, think about he's with Team China. That'd be so cool.
Yeah. Like I got to go. Like I said, we hosted in Zagreb the first time I did it. But that was cool because I had a month off between my season and that season and that starting. So I had a month off paid in Europe.
Yeah.
That year. And then like the next year we went to Belfast for 10 days. That was great.
Here's a question. I got something sticking out in my mind and I got to ask, Arbeitslosgeld, are you guys on unemployment right now?
No, I'm on 12-month contract.
And I was on, I've been on 12-month contracts ever since I've stayed over here since the kids have been in school. But
just so you can stay.
But this, well, no, just because we're over here and it's a way, like.
But you can get unemployment. You're allowed to, and like the hockey players get it.
I'm gonna go on unemployment for a couple months here coming up, like just this because I'm on a 9-month contract now coming up.
Because that'd be better for you. Because then you
12 months though. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to switch that to 9. You got to play the system.
Your car, you got to pay your house. You know, you got to pay that separate cost when you're not under the team contract. So you have to see if it's worth it or not in terms of like, you know, because there's a max that unemployment hits. You know, it's like 2,900 or something like that.
Right, and I have like for me, I may or may not have done it once. And the way it worked though was I had my salary for the year. That contract's over. It's summertime. And then I went in for the meeting, and then I ended up getting unemployment until my next contract started. And it was 3 months of pay in the summertime that I wouldn't have got.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard great things about that from guys.
I mean, the social programs obviously in Germany are great. That's one of the reasons why that's why I'm living over here. It's just like lifestyle. So, just to, and I got 4. So like, just to be able to like, it's a lot easier for me to live a great lifestyle over here than it would be in Sun Valley, Idaho, you know, like in these, you know, so it's, the family loves over here and that's part of the reason, but you know, you have to be around in case you get a notice like in the mail that, hey, we found job for you. And normally it's a lot, you know, you don't really get those notices if you show the start date of your next
next contract. Yeah.
So it's like,
like say hypothetically, you went on a cruise and were there for an extended period after the season before
Right, you
heading
would-
back to Canada, and you
right,
went for a meeting
yeah,
saying, I'm here
hypothetically,
for
yeah,
the summer.
exactly. Yeah.
And then you did it, and then you were like, okay, now I'm going to go home because I already had the next, or hypothetically, if you already had the next contract, they would leave you alone because they know it starts August 1st, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Hypothetically.
That never happened to any.
I've never heard of it
that I know
happening.
that I know.
I've never heard of guys that like would go check the mail for teammates during the
Right,
summer
never,
months
yeah.
just to make sure that no letters came. Right?
Exactly. And if they did, you were just coming back a little early.
Right. So where and what are you doing now?
Well, like, we're in Straubing. I was working today.
Is the ice in?
No, they took the ice out today, this week. They're putting in new lighting system, LED lighting.
But this is one of the only, like, starting last year, really, this is going forward going to be one of the only rinks where the ice is going to stay in like 11 out of the 12 months.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
it'll go back. It'll go back in by early June.
Yeah, and it would go in earlier if it.
And
if
is
the
that for just everybody? That's just because people want to use it?
Yeah, and they're building infrastructure here to have like a great like training facility, and they're building new locker rooms for everybody. And this is kind of where now we've got like, you know, great skills coaches here and coaching and ice, and this is where like guys in Bavaria will come and skate in the summer.
One of the poster pics, I may as well bring it up now. It looked like you were coaching like a junior team.
Yeah, that was actually that was Brandy and I coaching the seniors. So we had like a fifth league.
Yeah, they're in the German fifth league.
German fifth league, coaching the seniors, but we're just.
Where was their normal coach? You just did it for fun?
No, you're looking at like Brandy, you got our team, and he's like GM, put the team together, did all the stuff. You know, it's like we love to do, and
so you like to stay busy. You guys are running a fifth league team while you play the DL.
This guy Marcel Brandt, he does. He's the head coach.
This guy's grinding, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Marcel Brandt from Lansing?
Yeah. Him.
Yeah.
So like
small world. So I'm pretty sure that I could be wrong though, because the research team is getting hot. And I'm like, I've seen that name before. I think I know who that is, but then I'm looking at it and say this is in Regensburg, but his youth team's Landshut.
Yeah, because he's from
Dingeldorfing or something.
Yeah, he's from Dingelfing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But he's turned in. He's the best. He's the best defender in this league in Germany.
He's a defender. It's City's plus 33.
Yeah.
You know, he's a defenseman.
He's a Verteidiger?
Yeah.
And
he's the best one in the league, in my opinion.
He had 43 points in 55 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Brandon.
Yeah. And he's just a machine. Like he's so consistent.
I had him written down because I knew he was from. I'm pretty sure he might have been around Landshut when I played there. Like I feel like I know that last name from that. And there's a little kid that I was like, this kid can play.
He was a forward in his younger days.
Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. Because I'm pretty sure who I'm thinking of was a forward, and
he got told.
When you're a guy and you see a kid play, and you're like, well, that kid could play. You know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. There's coach. It's funny. Like I won't say the coach, but it's funny. We talk about it all the time. He's like, his coach told him, he's like, you'll never be a defenseman in this league. Like, you know, thought he was like a fourth line forward, like, you know, whatever. Thought never be a defenseman. It's like he's the last 4 years, since COVID, he's been the best defenseman in this league, in my opinion.
Plus 33, 43 points in 55 games. And I wrote a 30-year-old from Landshut breakout year ?
Not breakout. This is going into like
maybe offensively.
Basically, that's been 3 year that's been going just buzzing.
Yeah.
So is he up top on the power play?
Yeah. But he could do
his shot's
ridiculous, but he's in such good shape. He's a machine, and he doesn't get hurt. He's so consistent. He's that guy. He doesn't bitch about it. You know, you kind of hear like mafia and this, like this guy could have so much power and influence through the team. And he's just the best guy comes, does his job, clocks in every day. So consistent and just is
that's what it takes to win or to have a good team, is to have your best players being the best dudes.
He goes out and shoots for the goalie in the goalie sessions, the 10 minutes, 15 minutes before regular ice every morning.
He's a rookie.
Yeah. It's one of like the better veteran guys. And look what it does.
But when you have for kids, when it's like coaches coach, players play, refs ref. Like he's a player and he plays. He doesn't
Yeah.
like, he could have,
Yeah.
you know, like you've been around this league and you know how it is. You got core guys, and you got sponsors that are friends with core guys, and there could be like more influence that guy, you know, like the LeBron James effect, you know, like where
Oh
you could
yeah.
have a star player have effect on the team. He just coach, he lets the managers manage, the coaches coach, the
And he
players
just
play.
plays.
And I just respect it, man. He just plays and just is, yeah.
Well, that's cool. And you know
But
what
then
though? People from around Lance Supervarrier are fantastic people.
and then that's one of the reasons why he's staying over here, because he's involved too with like our team as well, and then sponsors throughout the league in the for the yeah, you know, for the youth program, and he has a lot of influence. Like he has a lot of he just puts in a lot of work with the youth program as well. So I mean, he's just a great dude.
Well, it sounds like you both are, because putting in the time with the youth program, it's like I've had on a few guys lately that are just getting to Germany, right? They're just getting there and they're just feeling out after a year. And like I want to say to them, I mean, I don't want to give the kids need to figure this stuff out on their own. But like when you get into the youth program, when you get into helping kids and you're showing up voluntarily to help the kids of that town, man, it can make a huge impact. And then to think of years later, the kids could be wearing your number because of you going out to help them. But if you don't go out there and do it, the kids ain't going to be wearing your number. And when the team asks you to kindly leave, nobody's going to give a shit.
Yeah, you're 100% right, man.
Yeah.
And it was fun. We got to do it with the senior team too. I don't think the senior team's really going to be around as much, just because it takes up a lot of resources for something that's like, you know, men's league, maybe a little better, you know, like if that, you know, but I think the fact that like we take them seriously, you know,
And then they
doing
take
this,
themselves
and
seriously.
you don't, right. Yeah. And you don't like chirp, you know, not chirp, you do this, like, and trying to teach them and do subtle things, but also be like, you know, stoked that they're still doing it and all this. I think that goes a long way too in the town of like our peers, you know, and
It'd
the
make
hardest,
you a lot more friends around town that you're a part of another
that's what I'm
team
saying,
too,
as
right?
opposed to, exactly, as opposed to like being, you know, critical or trying to big wheel the town. Like it's a cool spot, dude. Everyone's down with everybody here. It's tight.
Well, and it's cool. It's like, well, to bring up my own shit is coaching the under 11 boys. I met all these parents and they're all part of my hockey family now. And we had a team. And then this year with the girls, it was crazy, right? And like the people you meet and you treat the kids with respect of the parents, and then all of a sudden your hockey family around the town grows. And like this town I'm not from, and now like I got an army of people with me, right? So it's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
And then I guess just before we came on here, I did get a call from the new under 13 coach in town. And he said that he wants to do it together and be co-coaches, and that we're in this together, and it's going to be about building a team of good people and all that. And yeah, so thanks everyone for making it work out, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's awesome. I knew you were looking forward to trying to get that done.
Yeah, so that got done today. So I will be coaching the boys in town next year, and I'm also going to try and help out the girls because I'm building a dynasty there.
Hey,
Absolutely.
love it.
Yeah, and you know what? The more involved with, I know it's busy, right? But it's just more fun you have and more people, you know. And it's like that fight that happened at that arena. It's like if I wasn't there, none of that happens, and I don't have that memory.
Yeah.
No, but the other thing too is, you know, you're coaching 11-year-olds, 13-year-olds. If that's success for us, is making sure that the kids are good kids.
Yes. Oh yeah.
If they're not, and they're learning lessons. So like, regardless,
Being
not,
a teammate,
you know, of
yeah,
what their school and what their thing's going to be, like, I think that's where, with everything as it is right now and society as it is, like, you know, my parents kind of asked me like, well, how do you get active? Do you donate to like politicians and shit? Like, what are you doing to change? You know, kind of like chirp me, like, look, I'm like, yeah, I'll donate to these politicians, or I'll go coach youth kids and work with kids and try to affect people and make sure they turn out to be good people. Because then when you have a society of good people, then
then
it
things are
works,
better. Yeah.
so it's like,
Well, it's like
you know,
I try to build little shed guys and little shed guys and gals. It's like I want them to be like the people that I have on here, the people that were my favorite teammates. I want them to treat each other like my favorite people in hockey, you know?
absolutely.
And so far
Absolutely.
it's worked out 2 years in a row, folks, you know?
Hey.
So I've had 2 teams that I feel like have been the closest teams I've ever been a part of. And it's been really neat. And like yeah, I had the gals on the podcast, right? Episode 267, my under 9 gals, they nailed it. But like, then I found out that like, they're so proud of their shirts and they're wearing them to school that like their teachers are listening to the podcast.
Oh, I love it. Hey, my kids are in cheer, and it's the same thing. Like whenever it has anything to do with, like I see like the excitement and the thing on them that I almost have to like, we just, you do so many things. You're like, you don't want to be numb to like how excited these kids are. And if they had a chance, like I said, like, hey, going on a podcast, going this, like going that, like so they see all the things that we do. And then when they get to do like a tiny fraction of that, they're so stoked,
I know
and
it's a cool memory to have, right? Like to think in 10 years from now, we could be sitting around listening to that together. Cause now they are part of my hockey family. They're part of my team for life, right? We're teammates.
Other third graders are like, hey, we went on a podcast.
Yeah. Well, it's cool that like,
what'd you do? Went on a podcast,
By the way, gals, you're ranked 16th in the UK for all episodes of hockey, just so you know.
That's unbelievable.
Love it.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Okay. Poster pics. I see it behind you, but there's one EHC vest, and you're standing in it looks like Straubing downtown.
Yeah.
What is this?
So stand out to that's just the clock tower there, and as made sure that we got I've had all this like with mountain high hockey, and I always had like the patch with the with the vest, so I just made sure that I got patches made up for all the coaches like to throw on their vest, because it's pretty, it's hard. Our facilities, they're not the prettiest, and it's cold here, but it's like, we're a hard working place here too, so made sure. But it's the youth program here, that's like what the umbrella is. That's the youth program, ERC. And that's,
so you really have gotten a passion for coaching kids though, haven't you? Because like I'm right into her. And like when you see them grow as people and teammates, it's neat, isn't it?
I just think I could have the most, like it's given me a lot.
Right?
I think I could, that's just where I can be the most helpful.
I'm the same. Like I actually feel like I'm better at coaching than I am at playing. I think I'm a better coach than I was a player. I knew how to bring teams together. I knew how to get the best out of my teammates. And now that I don't have to play and everybody's not worried about what shape I'm in, and I can just teach them how to hockey, I think I'm pretty good at it.
I mean, it's like I'm a coach, but I'm Flavor Flav, dude. I'm just a fucking hype. I'm just a hype man.
And you get to be yourself. And
I just
when
want
you're
people
yourself around the kids, they respect you way more, right?
Right. That's the thing. I just want people, like I'm, like I said, I can be like stern, but I just want people to be good people, have the best time, and enjoy everybody,
and enjoy it, have fun. Yeah, because fun is fun, and then hockey's supposed to be fun, right?
Absolutely.
My goodness, my phone is lighting up like crazy over there. Anyways, moving on. Okay, here we go. Next poster pick. What was the deal with the bobblehead? You had a bobblehead in Toledo, but you weren't there for it. You got called up?
Yeah. So before the season, whatever. So I went, I had a bobblehead, and it's funny because like you're in the coast, so not playing like the NHL or American League. Then I go before the season starts, and I get called. I played in St. John's the whole year in the American League, but like my bobblehead was coming in like November at home, and it was just funny because I'm just an East Coast. Well, I'm playing in the American League at the time, but like I looked at myself as like an East Coast player because I had way more games in the East Coast than I did in the American League.
Yeah.
And there was like a thing in Sports Illustrated like about bobbleheads, and then it was like, and the thing was like, oh, and not many, when you get a bobblehead at the time, like it's a big deal. And all of a sudden, this guy wasn't even there for it, but he's still playing. So it was like in sports as like a thing, and missing the bobblehead night. So it turned out to be like, it was cool that I got to get it in the coast and do that. Because
but then you weren't even at the game.
and then I wasn't even there, and I like sent a message on the Jumbotron. It was just like a fun. It was like turned into a bigger night than it probably was because of the fact that I wasn't there. You know?
Right. Well, those bobbleheads are pretty cool, and that's pretty neat that you got one made of you.
That place is awesome. Just a great. Toledo's the best too. I've been lucky.
Right, but you weren't in the old barn when hockey was hockey.
I was, like I said, I got lucky. You know, although the old barn would have definitely been more my style. I'm a little soft.
You would have fit. You would have fit right in the old barn,
you know?
man.
The inside cigarette smoking area next to the visiting locker room.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was. I mean, Rita, I'll never forget it, man. There was a whole cloud of smoke from everybody smoking cigarettes in there, and like the whole arena was just one big cloud of cigarette smoke.
And like the glass was like shoulder high.
Yeah. I definitely started the line brawl in that arena. Yeah, I got really beat up that night.
There was definitely some fans that were like, "This rink's too nice. Teams like playing in it." You know, in the new one,
just like, fancy boys. Just a
like,
bunch of fancy boys.
Who got to cross over the bridge into like soft downtown. It's like there's still nothing there downtown. It wasn't like it was built up. It was a tough place. You know?
Oh yeah, man, that was wild. Some of my favorite hockey matches were in that arena. Okay, your daughter gave someone a tattoo.
Yeah. So
both daughters,
both daughters. Yes, my 10-year-old, my 7-year-old. Like, so my 7-year-old she really wants to be like, and she just always tracing, always drawing, wants to be. She always says like, "Dad, I'm gonna be a tattooer." Like, "Dad, I'm gonna be a tattooer." Cool. Yeah. So our buddy who owns a shop here in Regensburg, my friend, so he owns a shop, the guy from here, from Regensburg, from Straubing, but owns a shop in Regensburg. My good buddy who's actually moving here to Germany came to visit me, and he was getting tattooed from his artist that was there. So they call him Uncle Reed. So they go down with Uncle Reed, and the plan was for Indy just to pick up a machine, you know, and just practice on. Now they have like fake skin. It's like, you know, and just do some things. And then all of a sudden I get a picture of, you know, her initials on Reed, you know, because I wasn't even there, which that was the only thing. It was like this point, I was like, it's such a cool thing to do.
But you weren't even there.
I wasn't even there, you know. This is why I'm getting pictures. So that's the story.
So actually, folks, I'm having a raffle, a 2 Ales and Hockey Tales raffle for Josh Batch's testimonial. It's going to be an 18 Walton jersey with a 2 Ales and Hockey Tales logo on the back. But all that money is going for a flight over there. But speaking of that, I guess I'll probably see the guy that has a tattoo of me on him.
Oh yeah, I forgot you had that.
Right?
Got Cardiff, right?
I don't know. Like, I mean, that's different, right? To get a tattoo of me on yourself.
That is different. You know, it's almost, like I said, it's almost as cool as getting your autograph, you know, on you 33, you know, like
when you tattooed a whole bunch of folks that day, right?
I tattooed a whole bunch of people. Yeah, but I would love to see a portrait that's a picture.
Yeah.
It's of me topless in the crowd, spray painted, and I have hands as muffins for muffin mitts because Hendo's kid inspired a tattoo when he came to the shed.
That's unbelievable.
Right? Like, and people thought I was going to run out of things to talk about, but this is the type of stuff that's happened since starting this. So I don't know. There's lots of things to talk about, right?
It's so funny how just like those shirts, it's like, you know, small town famous, you know, but like in the pocket of like, you know, card, like
in your honey holes,
Ontario guy, and all of a sudden you go to like card, you know, it's like, and it's just, it's so funny how it just.
He's famous in Manchester. There, never played for him.
Oh, they don't even know. I'm not famous there. They just throw chocolate. They don't even know why.
He's famous there.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
Fun fact for the crowd though is I am in negotiations. So we have a sponsor, right? Black Kite Couriers. Cheers, guys. Thanks, Neil Parker, for everything you do. Or we're just figuring out what we're gonna do, but he's gonna help me buy a whole bunch of hats. I'm making shed guy and shed gal hats with my kids' silhouettes and more of these. Hopefully I'll bring them over to Cardiff when I come. But what was I going? Oh, the jersey. He's no, what was I talking about? I forget. I got
talking about your tattoo. I think talking about this guy that has maybe a tattoo in Cardiff, you know, or Manchester.
Oh, Manchester. We're in Manchester. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna sponsor a Shed Guys jersey in Manchester next year. We're
That's
gonna
awesome.
right. We're gonna sponsor a jersey at Manchester. Cardiff's playing hard to get with this pop-up stand, so we're going to Manchester.
Yeah, why not? Take your money where it's appreciated.
Yeah. So no, seriously, I'm hoping that Ginner's back and then he signs some shed guys and we make it rain more chocolate. And then I think it'd be really neat to see a guy skating around in Manchester with my logo on his jersey, right?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and I've never played there, folks. Only got naked there once for a pregame speech. Actually, I played a game there, scored a goal too. I do remember that. But yeah, Manchester's cool. Cool spot. Okay. That's pretty neat that your daughter tattooed someone. That's a memory, right? Maybe someday when my kids come over to Cardiff, we'll get to tattoo someone, right?
Yeah. For them, I hope not. No, it's just kidding.
Okay. Moose, next one for you. One of your poster pics is you're smiling. Must have scored a goal or something, but that Adam is coming towards you, and that's Luke Adam. I remember watching him play for the Buffalo Sabres against Mannheim. When I'm in Germany, they came over to play Mannheim, and you see the Sabres play, and I'm like, I don't know who that guy is, but he's really good. And that year he made the show and he was in it. And then he ends up going to Europe and he starts with Mannheim. And I found it interesting that he went to the team they played that preseason game with that I remembered him from.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you talked about that before with maybe Reddick a couple of weeks ago. Like when you come over here, you never know who's watching and where you're going to end up, no matter where you're playing.
Yeah.
You know, like
you had the Champions League and all that stuff, right? And then other teams.
I mean, we signed a guy. I can't say who yet, but we signed a guy that we played against the Champions League.
Yeah.
Because he got 2 opportunities to be like, hey, look at me.
Yeah, look at me. Watch me strut my shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So like it's things like that happen. So it's pretty neat.
It is. And that guy would have gone over, seen the Mannheim arena, seen the facilities, and been like, huh.
Yeah.
So is he a shed guy? Is he a good dude? I like the way he played hockey. He liked to buck it up.
I liked Lukey a lot. He was great. He was great to work with from my standpoint, low maintenance. But appreciate everything you did for him. I know the boys loved him as a teammate too.
Yeah, great dude. I mean, me and him played together in Mannheim when we were over together, and then he came here this year. And he's a great dude. Comes from a good family, and he's a Newfoundlander. And he's just a great guy. Like loves, just loves being with the guys, and so
I like the way he played hockey. I still like it's weird when you watch a game and a guy sticks out to you. I remember watching that game and it was him and Tyler Ennis. I'd never seen them really play and they were just breaking in. And I was like, oh, these guys can play. But anywho.
Yeah, skates.
Lamps. What is the deal with these cupcakes? So we asked for poster pics of family, hockey, buddies, whatever you want, and you sent me a picture of cupcakes.
Yeah, they're like miniature size cakes there. That's just
they're perfectly made.
Yeah, that's what's going on in our household right now. Is my wife? She bakes. That's what she does.
Dear.
She's such a good cook too. But she bakes. She bakes here in Straubing now. She's
that looks professional. What she was doing.
Yeah, she's professional. Yeah, now doing selling stuff to or providing to different different restaurants on the in Straubing, and then we're opening up our own bakery here coming up in in November. So
really, so you're helping coach. You're helping coach the men's team. You're helping coach the men's team. You're running the youth hockey. Now you guys are starting a bakery. You got 4 kids. Yeah, and you play in the DL.
Yeah, we
Fun
do.
Fact
we get,
for the crowd.
Yeah. I got ADD, man. I'm all over the place.
You're just giving it, right? Yeah. Let the hair down and have at it. You know what? I'm pretty busy too. Right when we're done this, I'm gonna get all gussied up and head into the office and interview a person.
But that's why we're here in Straubing. That's why it's the best place, because I don't have to get in my car. I can ride my bike. I can do this, and literally, it's everything you need. And nothing is too far away where you can't get to. So if you're chauffeuring your kids around they have cheerleading here, and then they have soccer here, and then I've got a coach, I can do this. Everything is within 10 minutes on my bike,
Right. No, and it's weird how Germany has everything so right together like that. And then you get to Canada, the US, and it's to go anywhere, you have to drive. You can't get
Yeah.
anywhere on a bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what makes it possible, you know?
Oh, and it is interesting how much better it's set up for a lot of people over there than over here. The more people we get, it's like, well, it's so spread out, you can't get anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Next poster pick. This is for Maxie or Moose. You got the chin strap in your mouth. You're making like you're fixing up a helmet like mid-game, eh? So what are the wildest equipment things that have gone on lately? Anything new and exciting?
Gosh, like in game this year, I had a broken holder, you know, like things like that. Nothing too
Broken holder, like the white
Yeah.
part.
like when the plastic breaks, but or actually I've had a couple skates this year, like completely the rivets pull all the way through and put big holes on the bottom of the skates, the true skates. So then they just gotta get into their backup pair of skates.
Yeah, everybody's got backups anyways. But
Yeah,
one thing I was gonna bring up is I saw Gratz post a thing of Deese pulling a guy's steel out and putting in the new one mid-game.
Okay.
So is that what
Yeah,
everybody does now? Nobody has just
I got-
normal steel?
I got 3 sets of steel for everybody.
And they
I was
just
trying to
pop
find
in and
this.
out just like that, eh?
I was trying
Yeah.
to find this photo of what you can.
Oh,
Now I
yeah,
can
yeah,
look
yeah.
at it. Okay, he's probably like, "What are you doing?"
But yeah, like it just whoop,
That's all you do.
yeah.
These another thing that's gonna blow your tits off here. This is like
Jeepers, I
this
like
is,
when my tits get
this
blown
is
off.
4mm. That's 4mm.
Yeah, his steel's 4mm stick. instead
Yeah,
of
look at
3.
that. Like if you saw the size of my steel too, you'd be like, you know.
I don't know what that means. Is 4
Like, see
millimeters
the
big?
width?
It's really
See the
fat right
width?
here.
So like
What
goalie
does that
skates.
do?
So goalie, I mean, it's just like they're on an angle. I use these flare blades. It's called. So
Yeah.
How
it's
do you
like,
ever try this? Like, why do you have to be different? Why can't you just
Okay,
wear the steel everybody else
That's
uses?
the guy who tried it because the guy who owns his son played like pro. He was on my team in the SPHL. This guy Adam Stewart. So
Okay.
like Stewie was his dad bought the company and then Stewie retired and started being the rep for it because it's a pretty decent product to be honest with you. Like
no, it's a game
it's
changer.
So
it
what
makes-
does it help with?
well, like-
No, I just think like your ability to turn, you get more. So like
you get more bite on your turn.
You get
like,
an extra. So like the way it is, see, it's like where this line is right here.
Yeah.
So that's like where halfway through the blade, it goes out further, like at an angle. So instead of straight down. So when you're over on your edge,
yeah.
you would have an angle more so, and you'd have more
It's
degrees
digging in
to be
more.
able to get over on your boot.
Yeah.
But I just think the thickness of it, like you saw goalies were the first ones to do this. They went wide on a steel, like they went an extra millimeter on a steel, and it gave them more stability. And I think I also get more stability. I don't know. It just after using it, it's great. And then all of a sudden you try to go back to like a normal millimeter steel, and you feel like you're Bambi. You know? I don't know.
Really?
So
eh?
what it does,
Yeah.
So what it does, it helps with the glide. So like
I love
you
to
get-
glide. I love to
Yeah.
glide. Gliding's my
I'm not
favorite.
buying the glide. I'm
Well,
not buying the glide as
You
much
just
as I
want
am
to work
stability.
hard. You just want to give her tits, eh?
No, trust me.
I want to
I think
glide.
it's my
I'm a
age.
roller
I guess it's my
enthusiast.
age. I'm getting old. I'm getting old, and now I get no glide. So maybe
Yeah,
that's maybe
but
I'm like.
but that's the whole thing. So like you sharpen these at 1.5 inches, which is not very sharp at all. And that's if you would normally sharpen your skates at like 5/8, which is relatively sharp. So like if you sharpen it at like 1.5 inches, you have like a nice glide, but you have the bite of like a real sharp when you go to stop and turn.
See, really wasn't that into equipment skates or anything. I remember when I got to Cardiff and Deese was like, "How do you like your skates?" I'm like, "Sharp."
Sharp? Yeah, yeah.
He is
Yeah, but we
like,
don't
"What do you want?
profile our
5/8,
skate.
7/8?" And I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Just sharpen them
Yeah.
like they did in Germany."
Yeah,
But
I
that's interesting. That
Yeah.
I'd have never even heard of that product.
yeah, flare steel,
Flare blade, yeah.
flare blade. Yeah,
Free
yeah.
ads, folks. Get involved.
Yeah, I mean, they're like I said, for me, it's trying to use something else. It was so
So
strange. and bizarre.
you're wheeling out there in that steel. So what are we doing for Schlagers next year? Because you do have the best hockey sticks in pro hockey. You did last season. You got any plans for the upcoming season?
I got some plans. I don't want to give it away because I don't want other things to do. But I got some. I mean, this is my last year playing. This is it, folks.
Really?
So this is
Is
the
this
last
announced in
year.
the shed right now?
I mean, yes.
I would say so.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Holy
yeah.
moly, folks. If you imagine if the research team place there where the research team find things, if they found out and they're like, Cody Lampl retired, rumor, right? And then it was like, this is why.
Elite prospects
Hey,
that might end up on there.
rumor confirmed. This is it.
This is it, eh? So then
yeah.
after that, you're just gonna get into coaching and everything else you're involved in.
Absolutely. I'm going to be a bakery owner.
So you guys are you're set up shop. You're in Straubing.
Yeah.
You're staying.
We love it here. Yeah. And be the, like
Is that a place where coach and youth, you can actually get paid, where there's professional youth coaches?
Yeah. They have professional youth coaches. They have professional youth coaches, but the thing is the amenities, again, that the reason why, the amenities are like house and car into your thing, and then you'll get your, whatever you get a month. And then the fact that like my wife then will have that visit, so it's perfect situation. And I'm ready in the long haul to really honestly grow and, get this program like really jumping.
That's really cool. It's a great idea. And congratulations on having a great plan. Not many people get set up like that and seem as comfortable and ready to say this is it. I know I wasn't, because I didn't have a plan like that and I didn't have a setup like that, but that sounds like really great that you're passionate about hockey and you can get set up by doing it,
Yeah. I mean, I really like this town,
Yeah, so. I've been there too. Had a couple nice dinners with Andy Canzanello. It is a great town.
Former Cincinnati Mighty Duck.
Yeah,
that's right.
Ty gave me my visit. Gave me my visit at school.
At CC, yeah.
Gave me my
Isn't
visit.
it a small world in the shed?
Yeah, and Kanzi, like I said, and Kanzi's RGM's like best buddy. So it's funny,
Yeah, it's cool. Well, yeah, neato, gang. So I guess the one poster pick is basically like where you're sitting right now, but it's Lamps with Moose's kid, right?
Oh yeah. That was like one of those. Lamps wasn't in the lineup on like a Sunday afternoon game, so the guys that weren't in the lineup were skating.
Got to get bag skated. Awesome stuff.
Man, they go out with the skills coach
I think at the time, I don't know what it was like.
I think you're coming off of something.
I think I was coming off of something, but we had but yeah, I mean, you would get skated, but it's chill here. I mean, like if you're not playing well, you need to get those skates and you get those skates in. But like I said, we have like, almost to the detriment of like my liking of how much they kind of work on skills, because I'm like, at some point I'm like, yo, let's muck it up a little bit.
Yeah.
All these guys thinking that that this is like the most important thing when sometimes it's just like,
I watched a kid, I just watched a kid the other day that came in. He looked so smooth, so legit, and he would snap her like Connor Bedard. I'm like, whoa, what in the hell was that? And then they started scrimmaging at the end, and I never saw him take that shot once in the game, but he could do it in a flow drill every time. And I think the kids need to muck it up. They need to learn how to muck it up and get that shot off. And like, you can do all the flow drills you want. There ain't nobody in front of you. Or the skill drills, whatever you want to call it.
The biggest thing is like, you got one puck out there. It's you versus the other guy or other gal. And who's coming out with that puck,
and that's it's your puck. Yeah.
And at some point, like, you got to have the skills and you got to obviously do this, but you know what, like if you have competitiveness, then that's going to carry you a long way.
I couldn't agree more. How tight is your schedule? What do you got to do? Coach or something?
No, I got to go. I got to pick up food. I got to pick up pizza actually for the family.
Okay. So next poster pick.
Served.
You are on TV for Magenta Sports with just a fabulous mullet and a beard. You were Ken du Spreckenheim Bissen Deutsch. Look at that hair. You are a hockey guy.
But I was gonna say that picture. First of all, I look ill in that picture. Like Ellie, my wife's like, you look ill.
You look tired. You look tired.
I was gonna say that picture was like completely like. I didn't like jinx the team personally, but I'm doing like that was a game set. I was hurt. That was a game 7 interview after the first period. They had it planned. They're like, hey, will you come on TV? Will you do this? So we're up 1-0. This year. We're up 1-0 in the game. And they're like trying to ask me like past the game things. And I'm like, well, no, it's like after the first period, it's a really good team, doing like the, they're trying to like ask, oh, the finals and this. And I like did my best, obviously, to be like, Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
only been 20 minutes. It's 1-0. Like all these games are so tight. Like, what are you talking about? And then I was like thinking about it. I'm like, man, if these announcers like play like this, and then Jake, and then we end up losing the game like 3-1. We were like in control after the first, and it was just a bounce here and there. It was just tight game, and I'm like sitting there, and I'm like calling Ellie. I'm like, were you listening to this? Like they're trying to ask us. I'm like, I know this is gonna fuck. Like this is gonna be fucked right now.
Yeah, that's tough time to get interviewed, right?
Yeah, especially I was like,
So that was game
like,
7. You guys got put out. That was when you got interviewed. You didn't play that match.
No, I missed the last 3 games of the series. Last 3 games of the series. 4 games of the series. Last 4 games of the series.
Speaking of small world stuff, though, is when the research team got hot, looked up the coach finally that's been in Straubing. Now he's going into his 7th year. He was a Bietigheim Steeler coach, eh? And he coached shed guy Craig Teeple. We just talked about that season.
He's got deep ties there.
That was his first over here. I think that's his first place over here.
The research team saw a couple other DL2 teams that I'd never heard of, and then he went to the 3rd league at Bietigheim, and then that's when him and Teeple, they moved the team up to the 2nd league, and I had Teeple because his jersey was retired at Bietigheim, and my buddies just got retired there. And small world, man.
I love this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, like it's like I think he's just a good. I think he's good. Like I think he's.
And that's awesome when you feel that way about your coach. It makes you play harder, doesn't it?
I really do. Like I honestly, I like shooting the shit with him. I like like he's just he doesn't think like I don't know. He's just different from every coach I hear. That like more is more is more, as opposed to just like managing things. Like
doing it the right way instead of how everybody else is telling you to do it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly. Like he does it a different way. And honestly, it's refreshing.
Man, it is that. Yeah. Cause there's a lot of things that in German hockey, I thought were pretty backwards when it came to more. And it's like, well, geez, we should just get ready to play the game.
Yeah.
That is refreshing here, but it was interesting looking up his resume because he was in a lot of the similar leagues that I was mucking around in, but we just always missed each other.
Yeah, I think now he's getting some like recognition from like grinding his way up like the leagues, and now like,
pretty nice to be comfortable in Straubing. As like we said, it's a nice town, nice place to live.
Yeah. But he's gone. Like I say, he goes back to the States, goes back to Green Bay. His wife is German.
Austrian.
Okay.
Austrian. Oh, so his wife's European.
Yeah.
And he's fluent and everything, but they live in Green Bay. But his wife lives in Green Bay during the year with his 2 sons.
Yeah.
And then he's in Germany. So it's funny that they're
so he comes over by himself then, eh? And coaches and then there's another guy that was like that too. That was a coach out here that the family stayed home. Yeah.
Because his 2 boys are doing they're football players.
Yeah, they're old enough that they gotta be doing
hunting,
their thing.
Right. It's like taking them out in high school. They're like,
Yeah.
Yeah, they grew up in Austria, but about 3 years ago when high school started to get like serious for them, they went over there.
Yeah, well, they gotta have roots, right? It's nice for kids to have roots and where they're from, right? Well, that's pretty cool. You're on TV. So how is your German? If you're on TV, were you speaking German on TV or English?
No, I wasn't. It should be much better than what it is, especially when
you're gonna have to get into it here.
Especially when my 3-year-old is fluent, and my 10, 7, and 3-year-old's already fluent, and I'm just like slow.
Yeah. It was crazy going over there. You see the kids that were from Canada come over that are 4 years old. They'd be like perfect in 2 months of preschool, and all us adults were like, man, I can't learn.
Seriously.
Oh yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, they're like sponges, they say, right? Do you guys have Cabina Fests with an American coach?
We didn't have one Cabina Fest
Yeah, we
this
did.
season.
You shut your filthy mouth when you're talking to me. Well, that's why you got put out first round. If you don't have Cabina Fest, then you're getting put out first round.
I felt like
Yeah.
I felt like we had no, we had one at least. Did we not?
No.
Because last year we had a ton.
Liddy brought in
The season before we had a ton.
Liddy brought in stuff for his birthday, but that was it. No, we had no Cabina Fest this year.
That's embarrassing. That's why you get put out first round. It's the little things.
You act like our team doesn't get together.
Okay.
Come on now.
Maybe you're just not doing it in the locker room.
we
but
get together. Our team, because everyone's so close. They get to. I mean, guys get together
okay,
But,
well, that's hockey. I like to hear that.
Our
Yeah.
schedule this year was also crazy with an extra team in the league
Yeah, we had
and
Champions
extra
League.
Champions League games
We
and
had
stuff. So
this,
like
you know.
getting
Where
the
where
party
did
full-
Deese come to visit you? Because I saw the Champions League on the scoreboard
Vlog.
there. Vlog?
Vlog. Yeah.
Oh,
I drove there this morning. I drove there and back today.
really? Jeepers.
Yeah,
Oh, you went there today?
yeah. I
For
left
what?
at 4. We signed a guy from there. I can't say who, but we signed a guy. So we
We're
went-
breaking a lot of news today in the shed, folks. Lamps, why do you wear number 32?
I wear 32 because 2 was retired in Utah when we were, and I just needed I love 2. It's my favorite number. And Maxie, I think you asked. You're like, hey,
2's retired.
because I wore 2 in Idaho, and then he's like, hey, your number, you're not wearing it here. I'm like, oh,
Right.
So then I just, I've always loved 2, and yeah, and I think
You just threw a 3 in front of it?
Well, I think I did that actually because my wife's birthday. I know make me sound like a nice guy and like a pussy at the same time.
Bit of
because
a
I'm
romantic.
Like the least sensitive. No, yeah, because I'm
Yeah.
like the least sensitive guy. In terms of probably doing shit. I'm like a guy that forgets your birthday. The thing. But Ellie's birthday is on the 3rd, April, and I was like, man, 3-2 looks good together.
Yeah.
That's a good number. I think it fits me well. I guarantee no one will be fighting over it when we go to each team.
Right.
And
You want a number you can stick with, right?
Yeah, so,
And
I wore it ever since.
It's a solid D guy number. You can't go to 22 and be.
And it's also when I'm playing up on the 4th line too, I can wear it also. So
yeah, well, it makes sense. And it's nice to be a little bit different, right? And with you got the beard, you got the tats, you got the schlagers that are different. Now you got big steel too, right? And the number's not quite normal either. And it's nice when there's I can't think of someone else that's 32, because then when they think of 32, they think of you, right?
Yeah.
And he uses more gloves than anybody on the team.
Why is that?
Man, because they don't make gloves like they used to anymore. We grew up with
I hate
palms.
new gloves, man. I don't want anything to do with a new pair of gloves. Get that shit away from me.
I want my palms real work gloves, I need them thick. And
you like them new though?
Brand new. And these palms are they come, even the new ones aren't thick enough to be they're broken in all the way. They're like lacrosse gloves. I can't play with that.
You can. You can. You need old gloves. You need ones worked in so you can really feel it.
They come. They're the best on the first day, and then all of the equipment is dog shit after that.
Jeepers, you're gonna need a big budget, Maxie.
Seriously, that's the only thing I care about. But gloves and skates.
What kind of skates are you wearing then? What I saw the steel.
I've been in VH skates or True, I guess, but I've been in that. I was in MLX
Since
for 1
MLX,
year,
yeah.
and that's 14 years ago.
Yep.
So I've been in a True or MLX for the last 14 years.
Okay, here's your coaching question for today. If there's a drill that ask the kids where that's their favorite that you do, what is it?
I think whenever we do the small area power
Mucking
play
up games. Yeah.
But not really muck it up though. The
4-on-2s and pass it around, make plays.
Or a transition game where it's they get an offensive chance, they have a little bit of pressure, but it's not full grind, or a coach, or a coach joker on the end line, on the blue line and goal line going cross ice or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
They like those games. Playing. No, you those are your favorite drills.
Playing hockey.
I hate every other drill.
I like competing, right? Playing.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Competing.
Yeah, I want to play. Yeah.
Seeing who can win. That's something. Yeah, I agree. Okay. You guys have announced that you signed Ulf Samuelson's son, eh?
Yeah.
That looks like quite the hockey family. The research team got hot. 3 brothers played and the sister played D1, but did you know one of the brothers was a chocolatey Manchester Storm in 2019-20?
Did your research team tell you too that the guy on the podcast right now coached the little brother Henrik in Arizona?
Really?
Yeah.
Small world, eh? And Henrik, is that the one you guys just signed?
No. This is Philip, I believe.
Yeah, Philip.
I've never met Philip. He's a good player. but this Henrik was like a moose of a kid. He was 14 at the time.
Oh,
And I
there was
think he
one of
was
them
like-
was drafted first round of the show.
Exactly. And I think that was, that was him.
Yeah.
So, and I think
They say
but-
genes are a thing, folks.
yeah, he was just a man amongst boys at 14. You know,
Well, it seems like they've had interesting lives, right? Because they had American passes, Swedish passes, but then where they had all played, like they've been around hockey.
I loved Ulf Samuelsson growing up though, because I'm a Pens fan, and I know obviously all the
Really?
Bruins fans are like, this guy's the worst ever. But
That was,
I was an old
he
fan,
did
like,
some
when it
pretty
was-
dirty shit out there.
yeah, but he was on the Pens, and I didn't give a shit, you know. So it's like him and Shell Samuelson together, like Shell and Ulf, like I mean that was, you know, I didn't care. I'm a Pens fan. I was a Pens homer. I don't care.
All
You
right,
know?
fair enough.
Yeah.
So do you got how long till you got to pick up your pizza?
I don't know. 20
Yeah.
minutes probably.
Well,
I
a
got-
guy
I got
that
all
was
the
on
time-
your
I got
team
all
is
the
Yeah,
time.
we might dip out and Moose goes.
I got all
you
the
know?
time in the world here.
Yeah, well, I don't I gotta
gotta
eye
wait.
up this person, figure out if they're a shed guy or gal that I gotta interview, right? No, but Yannick Valenti, I think he was on your team
Yeah.
this year. That guy I played against his old man Sven.
Oh no shit. Okay.
He played for beautiful Whitewater, Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes me feel old when I see the kids playing now, right?
That's what I'm waiting for, like some player of mine's son to come through one of these years or something.
And,
Well,
wow.
even my first coach, Brad Shaw, his kid plays in Innsbruck. And I
Really?
remember his kid when he was like this little kid that just like squirted out on the ice after practice every once in a while, right? And he was,
Yeah,
like,
no, it's
one of the better scoring players in
You
the
can tell
MLS
you can
years.
you can tell Yannick's like a son of a hockey player
Yeah.
because the way he shoots the puck, you know, like he you can tell, you just tell kids that have it in their genes and like been
Yeah.
doing it around the house for as long as time, and that's like an attribute that he has, that you're like, okay, this kid is the son, and
Yeah.
like, and just like his leg size too, kind of for being like a small, you would think of
Yeah.
Yannick as like a small, he's not a, you never think of him as big, but then all of a sudden you sit next to him and he's just got these like legs, you know, his lower body.
well, his
Right
old
here.
man was a smart hockey player that
Yeah,
like yeah.
Yanni's got one of the best one tees I've ever seen.
Just releases, I think,
And then, like,
snapshots,
release
like
them all.
a release of a snapshot. He plays with a stick. He plays with a stick that's overhead height,
yeah,
and it's like the whippiest 70 flex stick.
The
Uses
kids
a
can do that
knob-
now, eh?
Uses a knob that has two knobs. So he's got a knob, a space for his finger, you know, and then a knob, you know. So it's like it just sits in there, and he just whips. That.
Really?
He
his
just
stick is
whips it.
his stick is as long as mine.
He whips it.
Like, and I'm giant.
If it hasn't
And that's what's
translated-
weird is I used to use a stiff stick because I found I always take clap bombs on the one timer on the PP, and like I like to know where I was aiming it, and if it my stick was too
too.
flexy, I felt like it would spray.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. I use a stiffer stick too, but his snapshot, like I said, hasn't really translated into the DEL level, but he goes down.
He went
To
down to
DL2,
Landsuit
And
at
he's like a
Landsuit,
half
my
a
old
goal a
honey
game
hole.
guy.
He
He's
had
like a half-
9
like a-
goals in 12 games.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's the way he scores, like at that level, like he just scores, you know.
Mm-hmm. Another guy you had on your team, I'm pretty sure I've heard that he was the guy that hurt McDavid. Brandon Manning.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Was he not the guy? Is that not the name I'm remembering?
the
That
guy.
was the guy. Yeah, he's the guy.
Yeah.
That's the
that's
guy.
it, that's the
That's
guy.
the guy. And you know what? It's you want to talk about somebody who's competitive, like love, like
He's-
Man Dogs compete is he
He sees
you know, like,
red.
and it's hilarious because just that interaction of him being traded to Edmonton after it happened. So what happened is in Philly, and then he gets traded to Edmonton, and just seeing like, you know, he's old school. He compete like he's probably disgusted by today's hockey, which is awesome. You know, like because I am too partly sometimes. You know, just like
I
not
do
get
know.
off my lawn, but just like it's just different now. You know, and
Right. Oh, and like when a guy beats you, it doesn't matter who it is. You got to like try and stop him. That's your job, right?
yeah, but he just
Oh, yeah.
competes you know, he's just competitive at everything, and it's awesome to see. You know, it's like he just
Yeah.
competes.
No, hockey needs more competitiveness. Like it needs to be, there needs to be more passion and compete
Yeah,
in today's game.
he's passionate when it goes on, and
Yeah.
it comes from like a lot of anger, which is awesome. You don't see a lot of guys kind of playing angry a little bit.
Yeah, he plays mean.
And I love it. Like, he plays angry. Like, he's, sometimes like here's deeper. You try like look at the bench, like say something. You're like, oh, he's in one of these like
one of those
rage
moods.
fits.
Yeah.
You're just like nice. All right,
Some of those fellas that could get real competitive, right? You'll be playing like a small area game just for fun after practice. I mean, you'd see them chuck a stick up into the crowd, or
yeah, exactly. I love it.
I see guys like they almost like glaze over when he gets into a certain zone. Like there's just no one there, and you're like, oh, he's deep in it right now.
So I found it neat though that like for a team, there's always your staples you want to bring back right away, and I find it interesting in Germany these days, right? When it's the same as when I was there. As soon as the season ends, it comes out for the research team that it's like boom, 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 all to unknown. And they're just like, we're not having any of these guys back. But you guys were both back, like no questions asked. It's right away, like
right. I mean, I don't know like how contract work, but like a lot of times, obviously, you sign a lot earlier than they like. They'll sit on it, or they'll announce it, and then if it's whatever, if it's like a slow news thing, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, boom, we'll pop this out to be like, like if tickets are slow or something, they'll announce a new signing and announce this, but it's all the guys know like that this person re-signed like maybe time before, but or a guy signs 2 years and they'll announce it as just he signed
1 year,
like this guy re-signed,
Oh, it is funny the games they play. It's like I know of guys that are on 3-year deals and the teams only announced they're there for one.
Exactly. Right. But also too at the same time where they're like the families are texting and be like, hey, it just said thank you. Like you're not coming back next year, and they're like, well, I thought we were still talking, like or whatever. And it just like the social media
and they will, right? They'll pretend you're talking until that last game of the season, and all of a sudden it's like, boom, you ain't coming back.
Or like they won't tell a guy, and he's like, I thought maybe I was coming back, and then it's like, hey, thanks for your service, like a Instagram post now.
And it's like, for me, if it was me, and to respect the players that had worked hard for you that year, and if you did respect them and their careers, is I maybe wouldn't put out a big press release that you're not having people back. I would just let the season end and carry on with who you're signing. And you don't really need to announce that you're not having people back.
I don't know. It would. I just wouldn't lump in 6 players together. I would give like in the social media day and age, I would give each guy their own thing and be like, hey, thanks for everything. You know what? Like whatever, as opposed to just like, it didn't matter. Like you did service, and all of a sudden you have 10 guys limped in together. Maybe a guy played 12 games.
I just found it just would drive me nuts,
like
right?
The same post, like smell you later,
But it's literally like the day after you get put out, and they're like, well, these 10 guys right here is why we lost, and they're not coming back.
Yeah, I mean, basically,
we have that fan party, and then the next day it's like the day after the NFL season ends, like Black Monday, like just bam.
I mean, bam. Like I said, I would just. You can start announcing them or whatever, but I wouldn't just throw. If I were doing things, I wouldn't just throw in because the way you leave a place and what the last thing is they remember, that goes a long way for your recruiting, for your this, for people the way you treat people, and that's a small thing that it doesn't cost any money to do, but it's like a thing that just makes families feel better.
Respect.
Guys leaving,
I think it's
respect, and it's the way you treat people, and it goes a long way.
I couldn't agree more.
Budgets, if they were the fact that like teams with small budgets don't go just like respect it. It almost makes them. It's dumb. It's dumb business.
They have no chance. Right. Business. What I found cool for my just because I felt like part of it this year with all the chocolate and the fun I had was like almost every player that like I follow their shit from Manchester. They posted something about like, thank you so much for such a fun year. And it was like, that's really cool for like a smaller budget team in the IHL that every player is saying that we had fun playing hockey this year,
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's how I'd say how we look at it here too.
Yeah. And for me, it's neat to see where you guys are at. You're in the Champions Hockey League and stuff, because I remember when Straubing was they were like the Augsburg of that league. Like they had not a big budget. They weren't really going to make the playoffs. They might make the pre-playoffs, but that's about it, And now to see you guys are like You guys are contenders. You're right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this year stung that first round. I think we were a stronger team than what ended up happening to us with some bad bounces in game 6 and 7.
Well, it seems like when
but
I
you're-
looked
but you're
at it, all
right,
these
like,
teams are pretty close.
we are a top team.
Yeah, that's the
in this
thing.
league,
It's
that's
not
for
a
sure.
no. It's a we are.
It's not like we got blown out 4 games.
We expect, and like our expectations are to be, like I said, in the top 6,
Yeah.
right away, and then fighting for a league title. You know,
Yeah.
like that's the expectations and the
culture's changed there. Then
culture. That's the
Yeah.
culture now, and,
Yeah.
and it definitely, it's been built from the ground up here for sure.
culture's the thing. I mean, and when you build it like that, and then people expect to win, then
Yeah.
that's how it is.
Since I've got here, we've had 0 changes on the staff. Same
And
head
that's
coach,
totally different for Germany, man. And usually you
Fourth
have a tough.
season.
Whoever is your coach's boss, I like how he's doing things too. Though, is
Yeah.
that he's letting a coach do things differently than say the German culture when it comes to more. Because it takes a coach the balls to do it, but also the owner's got to let him do that and say, well, no, we're going to do it just like everybody else, and we're going to run them into the ground and skate them into the ground and whatever.
He'll be the first one to tell you that says like, I'll bring in the guys because I know they're going to work and know they're going to do this and not going to like, baby them and have to do this. They're already going to do that because they're competitive, but I want you to have the most fun in Europe playing here. And he'll say that straight up when he calls you.
Yeah.
He's like, if you're having fun, I get the best players because they'll want to come here. And if you're not having fun, it's like, well, then if I see you not having fun, obviously I'm not having fun because why you want to be around fucking guys like that,
And because fun is fun and hockey's supposed to be fun.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, he gets it. Like that's all I can say.
That's very heartwarming to hear. There's a lot of people that didn't get it.
No, he fucking clearly gets it, and that's the thing. And that's why he's so good at.
And that's why the recruitment would be easier, is because people are going to say stuff like that, and people will listen to this and be like, "Geez, I want to play in Straubing."
Yeah, he gets it. Yeah, for sure.
That's cool. So when would you guys start then? How long's this off season till you get back at her? Start August?
We'll start to August 1st because we're not in
yeah,
Champions League this year
Champions
because we finished one spot out. Like the thing,
Yeah.
we now, August 1st. Like we're not, like that's the other thing that he gets too. We don't drive 12 hours on a bus in preseason.
The training camp
like
right here.
we have training camp here. We have the Folks Fest that's here. If we go play a road game, we're not going more than 2 hours, or we went to Innsbruck for like a team, but again, we played one time and we're there for 4 days, like team stuff. We're not just grinding out with 12 exhibition games, like going everywhere.
More. Yeah. Let's play preseason for like a month and a half because that's what it takes to get ready.
We do. Preseason is long, but it's all right here.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Great.
And you got the beer tent, right? We talked about before. What do you call it? That brings teams together, man. That stuff's awesome.
I mean, that's right across the street from here, from where we're sitting.
Last preseason, and the Star Champs, we were stomping teams.
Yeah.
Like, the way we'd come out, it was crazy, and guys were just spending guys' families didn't come out for like the month. Really, it was just the boys together, pretty much, and it was just like that's the best bonding experience you could have.
Yeah.
You bring back memories. It's like the Feder market of Beatingheim, and it's like we would get off to such hot starts, like when we had a budget, and it was because you have the Feder market, you're having a time on and off the ice, and then you just start stomping teams.
We could, but we probably, and this is obviously but I gotta go.
Yeah, no, you know what? I have to too. I have to go. Like, I got to get all gussied up and go to the real world.
Yeah, put that suit and tie back on, or what?
Well, not in Bruce County. You don't have to do suit and tie. I'll be in a golf shirt, some dress pants. Very business casual.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Don't want to make them too nervous, but they'll probably be dressed up. Well, thanks, guys. And it's interesting for me with like the shed now is like each league I have like my teams, and like in the DL there is no doubt about it. Go Straubing Tigers,
Be a Straubing guy for sure.
I am a Straubing guy. I loved my time in Landshut. Straubing was right there. They were rivals until now they're like the farm system, which is weird, right?
Yeah.
No, go Straubing. And we'll have to have you back on, Lamps and Maxie, before you shut her down, because hockey's gonna miss that mullet and that beard and like the sticks, everything you're bringing to the table. I like it.
Yeah. It's time, the game's changing too, you know what I mean? And it's time.
Well, it seems like you've done dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's to be ready. And you've had a hell of a career so far. So be nice to win her all at the end of this shit, right?
Oh shit! Would it ever? Would it ever? So
You'd really let your hair down then, I think.
I think so, definitely. But
Yeah. If we won one, I'd be out.
but that's the thing that's going to be nice. So is that, like I said, we're when you come to coach kids here and stuff, and you're around town, you still get to be part of like hockey. And see all levels and kind of be there and everything. So it'll be nice.
It sounds like you're right into the community there, like you both are. That like you're right in it, and that's like me in this town. It's like I go to the grocery store, I got kids running up to give me hugs and stuff, and it's like
this is our home.
Yeah,
that's our home. This is where we live. You know,
take our kids to the pool.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this is
you're a part of it. You're a part of the community, and that's cool. And I'm happy you're happy. You know, being happy is way better than the opposite.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this has been another episode of Zero Ales and Hockey Tales with Moose and Lamps.